Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a great New Year's party. I hope you enjoyed your time, and as well, I hope that you're having a great FPL season. Guys, with really short turnaround times, the information about the game weeks keeps piling up. And before I get started about what I'm going to do in this game week, what transfers I'm going to make, I'm really quickly kind of want to get through about how many points I got in the last game week, and then we're gonna go over all the questions, and I'm gonna be with you here until the deadline as well. So guys, this game week was, not good, not bad. We can say I got, I think, 53 points. Actually, I'll just show you. I think I got 51 points. Sorry. So 51 points this game week. None of the the players which I expected to perform well actually did well. Martial was very it was very ambiguous to be honest with you, and it was only after Rashford came on for Garnacho that actually Manchester United showed a bit of fighting spirit. Otherwise, Wolves were doing really well. Rashford came on after the first half and he scored a goal. He could have had another one, but it was called off for handball. Trippier, obviously, he's just been doing amazing, and can you believe it? Like, he got 3 points, bonus points, even after getting a yellow card. That's how good he was against Leeds. But unfortunately, Miguel Almiron could not do anything because they drew at home. They drew a blank, a 0-0 against Leeds at home. De Bruyne was just so disappointing, played the full 90 minutes. Everton were resilient. It is not to be said that De Bruyne didn't play well or Manchester City didn't play well. I mean, obviously, they were expected to blow Everton away, but I mean, Everton were resilient. They defended with their lives, and unfortunately for all of us, Cancelo didn't start. He remained on the bench, and in place of him, I got Nathan Patterson, who was like kind of just got 1 point. All of us, or the ones who really own Ben White, were unlucky, guys. He was taken off at 59 and I think 50 minutes or 45 minutes. I mean, it was so unfortunate. 15 more seconds and we would have got the Ben White clean sheet locked. But it wasn't to be, guys. It just got 1 point. De Bruyne 1 point. Patterson 1 point. And Darwin again. I think it was guys. I was watching the game. Wout phase was so unfortunate with the own goals. I mean, it was hard for me to even explain those own goals if I had to explain it to somebody. The second one was obviously, I think it was more of an obvious own goal. The first one was, I mean, it was crazy how the ball went in. I mean, that was the only way it could have gone in. It looped over the keeper and it just barely just went in. And Leicester, I think, were the better team against Liverpool. Not to antagonize any Liverpool fans or anything, but I think Leicester were amazing against Liverpool and they didn't deserve to lose that game. They deserved to get something from that game. But again, when we were talking about Wout Faes scoring the own goals, I mean, we also should talk about Darwin Núñez, who missed another goal. I mean, he was through on goal. He chipped the keeper again, hit the post, and he missed so many chances in that game as well. I mean, he did create a great chance for Salah, who fluffed his lines as well, but. I think Darwin Núñez has missed, I think, 14. I think he's got 18 chances and he's missed 14 of them. So some crazy kind of stat that's been going around. So XG is really high. Finishing is just absolutely poor from Darwin Núñez at this moment in time. He does get in goal scoring positions though. So this was my game week, guys. 51 points. Now, I mean, just again, just a little small red arrow. Or just kind of one step forward, one step back at this moment in time. So no much improvement in the last game week and not much damage done in this one. So this was all about my points, guys, and I just had to talk about it a little bit, and now I'm gonna talk about and come back and answer your questions as well. So hey Barry, hey Light Trays, FPL Sam, Jeevan, Todd, thank you so much, guys, for joining the stream. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great season. Basically, guys, this is the situation in my team. I think this would be the situation in a lot of teams right now, right? Hey Zara, I hope you're doing well. So basically, as you know, I've got here, if I put my players back in, I've got Anthony Martial and I've got Reece James. So currently I'm just kind of thinking whether to ship both of them out or just one of them out. Naturally the one I'm thinking about is Martial, to Mitrovic, because I'm kind of thinking about captaining Mitrovic. But any of you who takes this decision should be like wary of the fact that Mitrovic is on 4 yellow cards. If he gets 1 yellow card in the first game against Leicester, he's going to be suspended in the next game against Chelsea. So if you get Mitrovic, guys, you have to know this fact and then make this decision. Don't regret it later on if in case this happens, right? Todd says Wiz got 1 more point than my team. Oh, it was just insignificant, Todd. This kind of game week was absolutely a disaster in terms of there were no big decisions to be made. It was looking like a very, very like a normal game week, not big decisions, nothing doing, a very cool deadline stream. But right when the game week started and news started coming out that Cancelo was benched and, Foden was benched, whatnot, like crazy things, happening. So Rashford was benched. I mean, FPL has ways to turn like normal boring game weeks into really interesting ones and, to create panic for some reason. Fadzali says have to bench Martinelli at this point. I wouldn't bench Martinelli. I mean, the way he's playing, my friend, would never bench him. Faz says how many points did you get last game week? I got 51, Faz. 51 points, bro. Hannes says sell Robertson or let Almiron or White on from the bench. That's an interesting one, to be honest with you, Hannes. I think, it depends on how long Robertson is out for. Just give me a second. I'll actually read it out. I made my notes about Robertson. I think his injury is not like a long-term injury, if I may say so. Just give me a second. I'll read it out and I'll let you know about Robertson. So, see, he's got a dead leg, Robertson, and it's not out for a very long time. So if you think you can survive 1 game week without Robertson, I think he should be back next game week. So that's the only thing. This game week I think he's not gonna play because we think from all the leaks that have been going around on Twitter, we know that Tsimikas is starting in this game week. So if you can keep him for 1 more game week, then I think you should definitely stick with Robertson. But if you want to move him on, then obviously you can. I wouldn't go with Trent because I feel that he's not getting that much joy in terms of attack as well as in defensive terms. I don't think Liverpool have been good enough, because if defenders don't keep clean sheets, it's really hard to just expect attacking points from them every week. Just kind of think about that. A Testimony says start White or Trippier. Testimony, I was just reading a tweet right now. It was by I think it was by Bucker, big man Bucker, regarding all the probabilities and stuff. Based on the probabilities and the past numbers, they think that Ben White has a little bit more chance to get points as compared to Trippier. Personally, this is not a problem for me because I think I'm going to be starting both unless I can unless I get Reece James out, and then I have the decision to make, of course, which one to bench. But otherwise, I think I'm gonna have both anyway. So, but if I was you, I would possibly, if Trippier is an attacking player, and I always prefer the attacking player. If you ask me personally, I would start Trippier over Ben White if I had to make this choice. Then who should I bench with? KDB, Rashford, Bruno, Andreas, Martinelli, Haaland, Mitrovic, Darwin. Oh man. You should never have landed yourself in such a problem, bro. I have no idea, my friend. I honestly don't know. It's very, very difficult, bro. Very, very difficult. To call that. Guys, somebody help Fadzali because I have no idea who to bench out of that team. I would love to play all of them. James to Dean or Shaw. To be honest with you, if I had, if I make the move, I'd possibly go from James to Shaw. This is the second move which I am kind of thinking about whether I should be making or not. So this is at the back of my mind. I'm still kind of thinking about this move. And the one which I think I've already have planned is only Martial to Mitrovic. The Shaw move is I'm still contemplating a little bit. Hey Rafa and Reza, I hope you're doing well. Light Ray says bench Martinelli, Nunez or KDB. Guys, come on. You can't ask me these questions. It's so difficult. How am I supposed to answer that question, guys? I mean, these players are not the ones which deserve to be benched. Never. You know. But let me think about it. I'll try to give the answer, by the way, Light Rays. Hey Giovanni, I hope you're doing well, my friend. He says, if going Martial to Mitrovic, also know that United have a decent chance to double in 20. Giovanni, I know that. And the problem with Martial is, and I also know that he's playing Bournemouth, so I'm a little bit scared of taking out Martial as well. The problem with Martial is I watched him play against Wolves. You know, he looked so off the pace. You know, it was like, you know, even if you create a one-on-one chance with Martial, right now, it looked like he'd fluff his lines. He just didn't look sharp enough to me, to be honest with you. Who is your captain? If I bring in Mitrovic, then I possibly am going to captain him, you know. Guys, if you don't have Mitrovic, you can think about captaining somebody like Rashford as well. I think he's got a decent game against Bournemouth. He's in good form as well, you know. This is one game week where this variance can help you a little bit. So you can think about captaining somebody like Rashford as well, unless you don't want to captain a double game week player. Hannes says, I'm keeping Robertson. Who should start? 2 of White, Trippier, Almiron. I think this is a tough one, man. You can I think Almiron and Trippier maybe. I don't know. This is a difficult one. I would start Almiron if I had the option of starting the attacking player. I would possibly, I would start Almiron. But then out of White and Trippier, it's a tough one because Almiron is playing against White, so it's a conflict of interest. So it's hard for me to kind of say White and Almiron. So, you know, but that's what seems a difficult call, Hannes. Pritain says, do you think Robertson will start? Robertson is not starting, I think. Captain Andreas. Yeah. FPL Thumb says Fadzali Martinelli, but still not feel right. I have no right answer for that question. It's a very difficult question, honestly. Will Foden start? What do you think? Ashish, see, if you ask me, personally, I think Foden could start this game week, but I'm not a Manchester City fan, or I don't have too much information about them. So what I always do is I like to go to the to the predictions by Emma. She's at the rate Jump the Wave. She does predictions from the fans of that particular club. So I think they'll know much better than what I do. So let's just go and see what they feel who they feel is going to start. So just give me a second. There you go. So this is Everton, right? No, this is Everton. Sorry guys, just a second. Possibly have to refresh. Manchester United. Spurs commentary for the Manchester City team. Anyways, let's just look here. So they think that Foden is going to start. You know, the possibility they say is 60 to 79% according to the fans. So 60 to 79% fans, they, according to their odds, which they think, I think this is pretty good odds, to be honest with you. You know, so 60. No, I think this is an orange one. So 40 to 59%. You know, I think if you have Foden, you can keep him. It's just, it depends on whether you have the bench strength to kind of deal with this benching, you know. Because I don't know about what Pep's been doing. Because, you know, he's been benching Cancelo, he's been benching Foden. And still, you know, they drew against Everton. Why can't I find the Manchester City predictions here? Arsenal... I don't think they've put it out right now. Anyways, guys, that's the best we can do right now. So you know, this is the with Foden, with the Manchester City assets like Cancelo, it's really hard right now. But if you ask me, if you have Cancelo, I would possibly stick with Cancelo. With Foden, I think you can move him on, by the way, guys, because I think at this price range, you can get a lot of good players. You know, you can think about Saka, you know, Martin Odegaard, Martinelli, 3 Arsenal players. You know, Mason Mount, if you want to go for, you can go for him. But personally, I watched the Chelsea highlights. I didn't watch the full game, but I watched the highlights. I didn't like what he's doing. Even in the last game week, people wanted to go to Mason Mount from Phil Foden. I told them, don't go for Mason Mount, because he's just shooting outside the box. He's not even getting in the box. He's playing at the fringes. Yes, he scored 1 goal, but how many goals like that would he score every week? You have to think about that as well. Hey Barry, I hope you're doing well, bro. He says James to Trent and Foden to Andreas. That doesn't sound like a bad transfer to make, but you should know that if you bring in Trent Alexander-Arnold, there's like less possibility of or no possibility of having a double game week right now, but if you go for somebody like Luke Shaw, they might have a double in 20, or if you go for somebody like even like an Arsenal defender, they also have a double game week coming up. So if you're bringing Trent, yes, it's a good option, but the possibility of a double game week is not existing. That's what you need to kind of consider. So basically right now, at this moment in time, for all of you kind of want to know my transfer moves, guys, right now I have not made my transfers. Currently I still have Reece James and Martial in my team, but I've been I have my transfer moves kind of planned out. The only doubt in my mind right now is whether I'm going to make 2 transfers or 1 transfer. The reason why I have this dilemma in my mind is because I kind of feel that next game week we are going to have more information about the Manchester United double game week as well, and other game weeks as well. So maybe I can roll my transfer and kind of not go for Luke Shaw, because for example, let's say if Diogo Dolo comes back, it would have been even better, because I think he's even more attacking than what Luke Shaw offers. So but right now, what let's just look at the Manchester United predicted lineups as well. I think it's going to give us a little bit more better information. So see, this is what the fans are thinking here. They think that Malacia is going to start at left back and Shaw is going to start one of the center backs. I mean, I don't know how true this is or how accurate this is, but I'm not sure. Don't we think that Martinez is going to come back? No. Anyways, so this is what the fans seem to think, guys. This is the thread for Game Week 19. Emma's posted this based on the predictions, so we have to stick with these predictions. So they think the Shaw's going to play at center back, and Van Bissaka is going to play at right back, and Malacia is going to play at left back. Against Bournemouth, I think this can work, but that takes the appeal of a Luke Shaw transfer away from, because center back is not going to get a assist or a goal, especially of the type of Luke Shaw is. Anyways, let's just hope for the best, guys, and let me come back and answer your question if you have any. Andreas or Mitrovic captain? If I have both, I would captain Mitrovic. However, Mount or Sterling? I would go with Sterling, Sylvester. To be honest with you guys, I mean, Mason Mount, I'm not sure. Like, let me actually, I can show you, what I kind of mean. I've shown you before as well. Last time as well, I showed you about Mason Mount. I'll show you again. I just don't like the way he's been playing, honestly. I watched commentary by Zofar on the FPL Wire as well, and he seems to even think that Mason Mount can be benched. That's how poor he has been. Honestly, let's just see the last. Let us say, let us start from the restart, right? So let's just start from the game week 17. Let's see how he's doing. So obviously you'll see 12 points, 2 bonus and everything. Let's just compare him with Raheem Sterling, so we can get a perspective, because that's who you are comparing him with, right? Obviously we have to start from the same game week here. So you see here, look where Mason Mount has been and look where Raheem Sterling has been. Look at their average positions. Mason Mount is playing so far back. Obviously Sterling is a winger. Obviously we expect Sterling to play farther forward than Mason Mount, but look at the shots. Look at the shots. Look at where Sterling is taking his shots from. Mason Mount, the goal he scored was from here. You know, how many goals is he going to score from this place? This was another shot assisted by Sterling, and it was an XG shot of 0.06. This was an XG shot of 0. He's taking such low XG shots, my friend. And look at these stats here over the two games. They've both got one goal, but Sterling had a very high XG as compared to Mason Mount, almost 3 times the XG. Mason Mount took 4 shots, you know, with an XG of 0.2. Sterling took 2 shots with an XG of 0.7 approximately. 2 shots on target, 2 in the box. Assists, Sterling got 1. Expected assists, look, Mason Mount 0.17, Sterling 0.84. Attempted assists, similar. Big chances created. You know, I think Mason Mount is just taking shots, pot shots kind of for far from distance, but it hasn't looked all that good to me. If you ask me, I would not, because I've watched it. You can if you think you will see. If you like the Chelsea team, you can captain Sterling. Personally, it looks that Chelsea are kind of struggling for form at the moment. You know, Hakim Ziyech was who looked like he was going to be out of the Chelsea team. He had to play him, and Hakim Ziyech came in and played well, and right now people are thinking that he might even start. So currently they're a little bit of shambles right now, the Chelsea team, guys. So yeah. Testimony says Shaw's a bonus point magnet. Yeah, if you think Shaw's a bonus point magnet, then you can very well go for him, my friend. You know, I have no doubt that when Martinez is going to come back, I think Shaw's going to move to left back. I don't think Malacia starts over Luke Shaw, to be honest with you. Once Luke Shaw is fit, I think Luke Shaw is going to start there. So it's no problem of him losing his place. So if you feel that Luke Shaw's good, you can definitely go for him. I've been considering him. The only thing I want to do is, what I want to think about is, I don't want to make, whether I want to save my free transfer or whether I want to make 2 transfers. That's the only thing which I'm considering. I'm not saying that it's obviously a bad option or not. So been thinking about that. Just thinking whether to play, because the problem is, if I get Luke Shaw, then there's going to be another problem of whether I bench Ben White or whether I bench Kieran Trippier, which is again, you know, kind of another headache to kind of deal with. So yeah, FPL Sam says, I think I'll have triple Manchester United attack and captain one of them. Amazing, man. So I think you're gonna have Bruno Fernandes, or maybe Anthony Martial, Anthony Rashford. Crazy. If that works out, that's gonna be really good, bro. Is Sterling captain material? You can captain if you want to. In a double game week, I think you're gonna start both the games. You can take a chance. You can captain Sterling, but in my opinion, don't expect more than 10 points from Sterling in these 2 game weeks. Anything you get more than that is a bonus. Hey FPL Jug, I hope you're doing well, bro. So if anything more than that is a bonus from Sterling. I think 10 points should be a realistic expectation. The problem with captaining Mitrovic, again, you all know, with the 4 yellow cards, in case he gets another yellow card, is the only issue. Otherwise, Mitrovic is a good captaincy option. I have no problems with captaining Mitrovic otherwise. My whole issue lies with whether to take James out for Luke Shaw or not. If I had... You're welcome, Sylvester. You're always welcome, bro. Thank you so much. FPL Duck says, your take on Mount captain or Havertz captain. I've just given a long discussion. I had a long discussion about Mason Mount, Jugs, but if I had the option, I'd possibly captain Havertz, but I'm not inspired by any of the Chelsea players enough to captain them. I like much more to captain Mitrovic. You know, I cannot get Mitrovic and any Fulham midfielder without minus hit, and I don't want to consider taking a hit. So is it worth doing Walker to any Fulham defender? Ashish, I would not. None of the Fulham defenders are really that good, because they rarely kind of get attacking returns, right? Tim Ream did get 1 attacking return, you know. Other than that, their left back seems to be a good player, but not many attacking returns for them, to be honest with you. So that is the only reason why, in my personal opinion, I would avoid. You know, don't let double game week deter you from getting a better player who has better fixtures coming up. You know, so you have to think about that. For example, let's say Aston Villa, they beat Spurs away from home. I think Unai Emery got them playing well. So you can think about getting an Aston Villa defender as well. You can think about that, at least look at their fixtures. So yeah. Aman says, hi Wiz, who do I replace Foden with? Got Salah, Mount and Martinelli. You can double up on Arsenal if you want to. They've got a double game week coming up as well. You can think about getting Odegaard. He's been playing really well. If you really don't want to go with Odegaard, then Rashford. I'm not sure if you have Rashford or not, Aman. I think the first priority should go to Rashford, even before anybody else. Are there more potential double game weeks? Tariq, yes, there are. It depends on the FA Cup fixtures, but if the fixtures pan out as we expect them to, yes, we are going to get more doubles, and we might get some blanks in game week 25 as well, especially with the United players. So it all depends on the FA Cup results, bro. Pratain says Captain Haaland or Darwin. I would captain Haaland out of these two. FPL Jack says I missed the Mount part. FPL Jack, the only thing is I showed that, I'll just show you again. No problems. So basically I was just comparing Raheem Sterling and Mason Mount. Somebody asked a question whether to go for Mason Mount or Raheem Sterling, so I just compared the two. But if you look at Mason Mount, these are the four shots he's taken. In all the 4 shots, out of which 2 were on target, the total XG was 0.21. So the quality of his shots, the quality of the chances he's getting is not good. He's not creating too many chances. He's attempting the assists, but expected assists are absolutely non-existent. He's not crossing the ball. He's not creating big chances. It's kind of, look at just look at the graph of Raheem Sterling as compared to Mason Mount. This is the average attacking radar. Raheem Sterling has much bigger radar on all the crosses, goals, big chances created, attempted assists, expected assists, goal assists, and Mason Mount is this blue one. Look at the comparison. I mean, there's no comparison. Mason Mount and Raheem Sterling. I don't know. Maybe he can get 1 goal. Who knows? Football is not a game of. It's like, it's not that it doesn't work like black and white. It's got many shades of grey. Sometimes a player has lots of things going on, so who knows what's going to happen with Mason Mount. But on basis of the stats, I'd say he's an avoid. Tariq, Arsenal are going to get a double game week. I think Manchester United are possibly going to get a double game week in game week 20. So Manchester City obviously have a double game week in game week 23, I think, and 20 as well. So you just have to kind of wait for the FA Cup fixtures to kind of know which teams are really going to get a double game week. What about Havertz? I'm not too keen on Mitrovic. Havertz again, if you watch the game against who did Chelsea? Who did they play against? It was such a tiring watch. Nottingham Forest, yeah, sorry. So if you watched the game against Nottingham Forest, my friend, it was a hard watch. Havertz didn't look like the player who can change things, take the game by the scruff of the neck and kind of score a goal. Yes, he is good, but he is good when the players around him help him, they play well, they create chances for him. Otherwise he seems isolated when he plays as the lone striker. That is the reason they had to bring Aubameyang on against Forest as well. So you have to think about that. But Havertz, I think I like him better than Mount. If you're not keen on Mitrovic, then obviously you have to go. You can think about Havertz as well. Definitely, you can think about it. What about Havertz? Yeah, I understood that. So yeah, guys, basically, Mitrovic or no Mitrovic is not the question here. Absolutely, that is not the point of the discussion at all. The main reason is the captaincy. Why I'm going for Mitrovic is because of the captaincy. You took out Martial instead of the misfiring Nunes. Jugs, to be honest with you, yes, I took out Martial instead of Nunes because Nunes is getting into great positions. I think he's going to get a haul, and I don't want to miss it. The second thing is, maybe if I had Salah, I would kind of take out Nunes. But since I don't own Salah and I want some Liverpool cover, Nunes has looked really sharp. To be honest with you, he's got amazing speed, pace, running. He gets into great positions. The only problem lacking is his finishing, and that's gonna come. Start White or Cancelo. If I was you, Sam, I would start Cancelo. Definitely would start Cancelo. I think after drawing against Everton, I don't think that Pep is going to be benching Cancelo anytime again. The reason why Cancelo was being benched, I think, was due to some kind of Pep feels that he's not fit or sharp enough. I don't think it was due to some disciplinary issue or something which he's not been doing in games. I think Pep likes Cancelo a lot. He offers him balance in the team, the creative balance. I think Cancelo takes a lot of creative load. FPL Sam has made a very good suggestion, by the way, guys. He says you should make your transfers. You should make your transfers because the website might crash again. Shrey says, why keep James? I'm not keeping James. I'm currently kind of contemplating whether should I move him on for Shaw or not. The problem with moving him on for Shaw is that the Manchester United fans think he's going to play as a second centre back, and Malacia is going to play at left back, and Aaron Van Bissaka is going to play at right back. So that is a little bit concerning. I can keep James and I can move him on after this game because, well, I'll have more information. I wish Diogo Dalot was fit so I could simply put Diogo Dalot in place of Shaw, and that would be much, much better for me. But I don't know. I don't know when Diogo Dalot is going to be back. But to be honest with you, I feel that Dalot is one of the best options from Manchester United defense. He's very attacking as well, and he doesn't cost too much. I think you can roll. Much better flexibility. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. I personally, I think I'm going to roll because yes, Shaw got a clean sheet last week as well. Against Wolves, he could have had a goal as well. To be honest with you, Shaw, but that time he was playing at left back. So I have to kind of consider this. I've always had in mind before coming to the stream that I'm going to take out Martial for Mitrovic. That is what I had already decided. So the only second transfer is the one which I'm kind of thinking of. I think I'm gonna be able to make up my mind soon. But guys, any of you, please make your transfers. I'm simply telling you, these servers, the hamsters which these FPL servers use are absolutely insufficient. So do kind of try to, just get it done and over with. Make the transfers and set your team. So this is what I was talking about Trippier and White. So this is from Big Man Bucker's tweet. Chance of White returning is 48% and chance of Trippier returning is 41%. This is on the basis of attacking returns plus clean sheets, and this is from his tweet. So obviously, if you don't follow Big Man, you can follow him on Twitter as well. He does beautiful threads about FPL. But chance of Ben White returning. Obviously, chance of Ben White returning is because people feel that, or the algorithms feel that Arsenal have more chances to keep a clean sheet. But once they lose a clean sheet, or once Newcastle scores a goal, then obviously I feel that Trippier has more chance of scoring or a better chance of scoring points. Captain Andreas ain't that bad. Obviously, it's not bad, Fadzili. Definitely not. Who'd you play, Martial or Martinelli? I would play Martinelli, bro. But see, again, Bipin, this is a very difficult question. The reason is, like, the thing is, if you have Martial and Martinelli, why would you not play both of them? Like, what's the issue? Because Martial is going to play against Bournemouth. He can get some returns against Bournemouth. The reason why I'm kind of taking him out is, one, I want Mitrovic. Two, I don't think he's going to play 90 minutes. So that's one reason. Like, I am, like, very scared, guys. I'm telling you this clearly, that I'm very scared of kind of, not owning Martial, because I have Martial in my team and I'm transferring him out. By the way, guys, I agree with some. I think I should make my transfer, by the way. So out Martial in Mitrovic. So even if I don't want to make my second transfer, at least I should have my team set, right? So Almiron on my bench, and so obviously I've made my transfer here. This is what my current team looks like, and then I've got Reece James here, so I have to think about that. James to Shaw. Yeah, you can do that. Again, I'm telling you, you can do that if you want to do that, bro. But the thing with Luke Shaw is he also has a double game week coming up, so that is one thing which you can consider. Like, Luke Shaw might have a double game week in game week 20, so this is what you need to know. But then, like, for example, what I'm telling you, so what I've been telling you is, get in Andreas or Rashford. I'd be tripling on Manchester with Rashi, Bruno and Martial. Barry, I don't think there's a comparison of Andreas versus Rashford, my friend. I think long term, I think the way Rashford is playing, I think he's such good value for money, my friend. Bruno Fernandes captain for me, run it back. Nice one, FPL Sam. I think these kind of decisions all make you stand out sometimes, and last year you did really well because of such decisions. Stick with it, bro. Ashish says, my gut is saying Mitrovic is must. How do I get him in? My players are Haaland, Darwin and Greenwood. My fielder are Martinelli, Rashford, Salah. Ashish, I don't think you've got a good way to get him, bro, to be honest with you. Don't, like, if you could get him with one transfer, I would tell you to do it. But if you can't, I don't think you should break up your team to get him. That's just my opinion. Like, either would you do Martial or Darwin or for Mitrovic? I've done personally for my own team. I've done Martial to Mitrovic, my friend. Darwin out for Mitro, got Havertz and Haaland. You can, Joseph, if you really want to do it, you can. Otherwise, you can roll because you've already got one double game week player in Havertz. It's all about. Sanjay says, Wiz, consider KDB for Salah. Sanjay, I don't think I should be transferring out KDB right now because next game week he might have a double game week, albeit against difficult teams. But a double game week for a City player of the caliber of Kevin De Bruyne, and this is the reason I got him in the first place. I missed a Salah haul of 12 points. And just because I wanted KDB for the double game week in 20, and if I transfer him out now, I would be swaying from the way I play the game, and like, I want to be on the good side of variance. That is what I've been telling you. If you keep on jumping, or you kind of changing your decision again and again, I think it makes it harder to be on the good side of variance. If you had the rub of the green with a certain player, then to make a decision with him is different. But when you haven't had the rub of the green and you change it, just because of the fact that you feel that the other player is going to get more points, this is not how I personally think that FPL should be played. So yeah, but on the other hand, I would also like to tell you that there is something in psychology which is known as the gambler's fallacy. Like, a gambler keeps on placing the same bet again and again and again in the hope that he's going to win. But the difference between FPL and a gambler's fallacy is that here you are actually watching the player play, you're watching the team play, you can make decisions based on how the players are playing, so I don't want to go too deep into these things, but in my humble opinion, right now I'm not going to transfer out KDB for Salah. If I have to transfer him out, it would be after the double game week. For what I got KDB for, when I make a team, I stick with my team for the next 3, 4, 5 game weeks, at least when I wildcard. But yeah, I hope you get the point, bro. Play Shaw or Trippier? Shaw, bro. No, Bikesh, no questions asked. Play Luke Shaw. Malte says start Trippier, Patterson or Bueno. I would start Trippier, bro. I think he's the one with the most attacking intent, and in case Newcastle gets something, I think Trippier could be a good option, bro. Ishan says few dilemmas: start Trippier or double Arsenal defense, Martinelli or Rashford, and bench boost with Ward, Rashford, White and Bueno. I would not bench boost with Ward, Rashford, White and Bueno, my friend. I think you're gonna get a better chance to bench boost with double game week players down in the coming in the next few game weeks. You might get like a double game week, a big double game week in which you can have better chance of a bench boost. But obviously, if you want to gain over your leagues, then you can do it. It's not a bad bench boost, but I think you can do better in the coming game weeks. Out of Trippier or double Arsenal defense, I think you've got Martinelli. I think you can start one Arsenal defender and you can start Trippier. It would be placing too many eggs in the Arsenal basket. If Newcastle scores one goal, both your defenders lose a clean sheet. That's the thing. Out of Martinelli or Rashford, obviously, I think there's just too many conflicts of interest there, to be honest with you, my friend. But I would not bench Rashford if you ask me. Against Bournemouth, I mean, out of Martinelli against Newcastle or Rashford against Bournemouth, I would bench Martinelli against Newcastle. I would play Rashford. Yeah, so that's the answer. So guys, hopefully able to answer your questions properly. Might be taking a little bit more time on the answers, but I like to explain my thought process. It's not enough for me to just say, oh, okay, do this or do that. Otherwise, because here we're all FPL players. We're all trying to learn here. Nobody's an expert. So Sanjay says, Wiz, my team is the same as yours, except I have Salah and Bueno versus KDB and Patterson. I have a free transfer, safe transfer, or James for Shaw. See, Sanjay, what's gonna happen next week, bro, is that City is gonna have a double game week. So you might want to kind of get some players. If you can bench James and not get Luke Shaw and still have a good team, you can still put out a good 11. You can think about benching James. I'm still at the back of my mind still thinking whether I should go for Shaw. Trippier or Shaw, says Radhat. I would go with Shaw, bro. Castagna or Bueno to start. I would go with Castagna, bro. Ishan says thank you. So you're welcome, my friend. Made my move. Havertz captain for Nunez. Oh, okay. Nice, Jugs. I wish you the best, bro. The thing with Nunez is he flatters to deceive. I feel that his time is gonna come when he's gonna score 5 goals in a game. That's how many positions he gets into, goal scoring positions he gets into. These kind of players are streaky, Nunez kind of players are streaky. Once they get into their vibe, they can absolutely blow you away, And he says, is Nunez to Mitrovic a good move? Again, guys, I would not do it. It's up to you. It's up to you. I'm telling you, if you look at okay. So for all of you, let's just go to Fantasy Football Fix and look at Nunez. If you've not watched the game, you should go and watch the Liverpool games. Don't make the decision just based on how many points Nunez has been getting. Otherwise, you'll look at, oh my goodness me, Darwin Nunez, guys, from game weeks 17 and 18. You want to transfer out this player? You really serious? Tell me. You want to transfer out this player? Look at the XG, look at the chances, look at the places where he's taking shots from. Guys, come on. Come on, guys. 13 shots. 13 shots, guys. 3 attempted assists. Look at the touch heat map. It's absolutely. Look at the average position, guys. My God, this guy's crazy. Don't compare him with Mason Mount. This is not fair. Let's compare him with Salah. Still good. Look at Darwin. Look at Salah. Which player would you rather have? Man, oh man, oh man. 2.22 XG. 0 goals, guys. You think we will always land on the bad side of variance? You think? Like, come on, guys. A guy who's taking that many shots, do you think he's not even going to score 1 goal? I don't think so, guys. Shots on target, 6. Shots in the box, 9. Expected assists, 0.64. Come on, guys. Come on. Darwin is taking 6.57 shots per 90 minutes. 3 shots on target per 90 minutes. 4.5 shots in the box per 90 minutes. Come on, guys. I wouldn't transfer him out. Yes, he might flatter to deceive. I might get irritated. I might lose my nerve and I might transfer him out. But come on, guys. Come on. What if Mitrovic gets a yellow card? Then I'd you know, like, I've made peace with the fact that Mitrovic might get a yellow card, my friend. I make this decision knowing that this might happen. Marco says start 3 between Cancelo, Saliba, Shaw and Trippier. I would start Cancelo, Shaw and Trippier. Paz says who to bench, Andreas, Martinelli or Nketiah. Man, come on, guys. Give me easy questions. Yeah, this is not fair. I think Andreas and Martinelli. It's a very difficult one, bro. If it goes wrong, I'll put my hands up. But I'm not an expert. Hey Himanshu, I hope you're doing well. It's great to see you after a long time, bro. We should make more visits to our stream. We miss you here. Greetings to you as well. How's the Martial heat map, says FPL Jug. I'll show you if I can. Guys, so I'm not going to go to Fantasy Football Fix too many times, but I really thank them for sponsoring all our streams and allowing us to use all their stats for free on the live stream. So thank you so much to Fantasy Football Fix, guys. If you don't have the subscription, you can consider them. So here's the heat map of Anthony Martial as compared to Darwin Núñez. So as you can see, Martial has been alright. I mean, Martial has been in and around the box. This is the average position of Martial. This is the average position of Núñez. You know, stats, you don't want to compare their stats over the 2 game weeks. I mean, just nothing to compare them at all. 2 shots on target for Martial, 6. 13 shots for Núñez, 4 for Martial. Nothing, guys. No comparison. 2.47 shots for Martial. Actually, you know what? Martial got really good chances against Wolves. Got really good chances in the game before that. But Martial just wasn't clinical enough. And Martial is also a streaky player, just like Darwin Núñez. When Martial gets into his groove, he can get 2-3 goals. But, you know, you just have to stick with these players on... Look at Darwin Núñez's bonus points. Like, -1. Come on, Darwin. I mean, this is the next level evolution of Darwin. Crazy player. Love to watch him play. Trippier or White? Arjun, I think it's a really difficult one to call that one, but you know, it depends on how many Arsenal players you have in your team and how much conflict of interest can you tolerate, you know, or how many eggs do you want to put in the same basket. Gali says pick one to start. Trippier versus KDB versus White versus Almiron. KDB, bro. No questions asked. Razit says who to transfer in, Shaw or Castagna. If I had the option, I would go for Luke Shaw. Bring in Dean, Trent or Castagna. Barry, I mean, to be honest with you, Trent is not in the same bracket as Dean and Castagna. But I think Leicester have some decent fixtures coming up. You can think about Castagna as well if you want to save some money, because Trent doesn't have double game weeks coming up. Viz, do you think Cancelo will play, says Lee. Lee, I think Cancelo should play this game. I think Pep needs to get back into the winning ways, and after the draw with Everton, I think he's going to try and play his best players. Abhijit says Mitrovic or Havertz. Abhijit, I went with Mitrovic, bro. I'll have to eat humble pie this game week, says Jug. You won't have to, bro. I'm just showing you his stats. Like for example, they say, when we were small, they used to say you always miss all the shots that you don't take. Darwin is not shy of taking shots. At least he takes his shots. I'm just hoping one or two of them actually end up going in. If Brentford are without Ivan Toney, I think Liverpool can score 2 or 3 against them. And I don't think Ivan Toney, the way he was stretchered off, I don't know how Thomas Frank is saying that he's going to start against Liverpool or how we think. But let's see. Let's hope for the best. Personally, I'm thinking whether to go with Luke Shaw. Still thinking, guys, at the back of my mind to take out whether I should take out Reece James or not. Still not made my decision. At the back of my mind, still thinking. But guys, to be honest with you, I'm telling you one thing: don't leave your transfers late. That's all I want to say to you. Don't leave your transfers late, because these FPL servers are absolutely nonce, Just a second. So yeah, guys, there are some, by the way, there are some leaks about the Liverpool team news, which say that Tsimikas is starting, at left back. But I'm not sure how reliable they are, so I'm not share them here. But they have been saying that Tsimikas is starting. So yeah, and by the way, they've been saying that Konate is gonna start. Konate and Tsimikas are going to start. So yeah, guys. So last decision for my team. Actually, I should don't get me wrong. Wiz, looking at Nunes reminds me of Timo Werner. Looking at Nunes reminds me of Timo Werner as well. Actually, what he reminds me of. Not only Timo Werner, he reminds me of. Alvaro Morata. He reminds me of all these players who I, who have been trolled by over the years, in FPL. Alvaro Morata, Timo Werner. Even Ollie Watkins. But Ollie Watkins is not in the same bracket, because at least Ollie Watkins manages to hit the post. Yeah. Captain Darwin or Sterling? If I was you, I would captain Sterling. Best captain without Mitrovic. You can think about placing it at Andreas. Giovan says the only thing you'd gain by not getting Shaw this week is more information. Example, doubles, injuries, form. James needs to be replaced. Yes, I agree with that totally, Giovan. But the thing is, for example, next week I might have the possibility to get Diogo Dalot, like that's what makes me think a little bit more about this decision. Otherwise, I personally feel that this decision is straightforward, because if United get a double game week next week, although the fixtures are going to be very tough, but a double game week is a double game week, right? But still thinking. I'll give myself 2 more minutes and then I'm possibly gonna move. And also it's gonna be a difficult decision for me to bench Ben White or Trippier. Possibly I'm going to play Trippier, but because I have Martinelli and don't want to double up on Ben White. But Mitro and Andres this week is Dennis and King last year when they have double. Well, I've already done Mitrovic, so hey, Wiz also gotten Mitrovic, rolling the other free transfers, says George. That's great, George. I wish you all the best, bro. I agree with you a little bit, fuzzily, but I think Mitrovic is a much better striker than Dennis or King. I think Mitrovic is proven this year in the league. He can score against anyone. That's how good he is, and it's just I have to think about this, James to Shaw one. I'm like there's no problem with me making this transfer, except that I've thought so much of bringing in Dillo in my team. Going with Luke Shaw when he has Manchester City next, Arsenal. It's just kind of a neither here nor there decision. Salam says this is your final lineup. Salam, this is almost my final lineup. The last decision is whether to move on Reece James or not. Just kind of thinking at the back of my mind. Because next week I'll have 2 free transfers. Maybe I can make 3 as well. You know. It'll... I think I should... I think I'll just stick with it. Yeah. Anyone captaining Andreas with me? Just do it with his testimony. I'm thinking about it, testimony. I'm just currently... But I'm rolling the transfer. I think I should roll the transfer. Because I don't see the point in getting Luke Shaw when he's going to play Manchester City next. And, you know, I know he's playing against Bournemouth this week. But I think the 2 transfers next week might come in handy. Just... You know, this is a confusing decision, and when I like make last minute moves, they generally, you know, tend to kind of backfire. So I think this should be the one, you know, like... I personally don't feel the need to kind of go for Luke Shaw. The reason why the really United defender which I really wanted was not him, but I wanted Diego Dalot, you know. 5 minutes says FPL Jug. Yep. No trumpets. No trumpets. Telling ya. Not don't want any trumpets this time. But just thinking, because even if I make this transfer or I don't make this transfer, it's not going to make much of a difference. Sorry guys, I'm not talking too much. I'm just kind of contemplating whether to do or not. Mount or Andres cap. If I was you, I'd see, this is, if you own Mason Mount, you can captain him. You know, personally, I'm going with Mitrovic. You know, I think Fulham playing better right now. You know, if you're unsure, don't do it. It's not about being unsure, Jugs. It's actually not about being unsure. It's about the player which I really want. You know, that's the whole point. I have a gut feeling that Mount is scoring in both the games. Bipin, that's fine, but I've watched him play, you know. I've watched him play in both the games. Personally, I just don't see it, you know, like... He's just not playing that well, personally, if you ask me, you know. That's the point, what I'm trying to make here. So I think it's confirmed that Kostas Tsimikas starts for Liverpool. Confirmed by many people on Twitter as well. Guys, 3 minutes to the deadline. Please do kind of lock your teams. Don't leave it until the end. I just a reminder for all of you, because we don't have Smelly Wabbit here. Three minutes. Greenwood and Trossard out for Andreas and Havertz locked in. So you got for Havertz. I think that's a good idea. Personally, I think, guys, last 2 minutes, I'm gonna go with the team which I have, not making any more transfers. No FOMOs, guys. Not gonna let FOMOs get the better of me this time. Right, enough. Havertz captain might work for you, Abhijit. You know, I think this is the week if you want to go for a differential captain, guys. This is the week because you know, otherwise in most of the single game weeks, I think Haaland is the obvious and you know, like normal captain pick. By the way, I have to refresh. I hope I can in time. There you go. So Almiron first on the bench, Patterson, James third on the bench, captaincy is Mitrovic, vice captain Andreas. What else? Yeah, I think the team is saved. Let's just the scene when Haaland scores a hat trick. Well, good for Haaland. I hope his expected ownership is close to 100% this time around, and not like the usual like 196, 170%. Crazy like effective ownership for Haaland since the last. You know, since this game week or since the season started, ever since like people have realized that Haaland is the monster that he is, everybody's just like it's a perma cap on Haaland without having to consider like any other captain. The way we used to be with Salah, now it has kind of become with Haaland. Just put captaincy on him. Even when Manchester City lose, you expect him to score a goal. That's how good he is. It's a kind of a beast, a machine of a football. So guys, the deadline is over. I hope you had fun with the deadline stream. Got a bit, you know, I had made up my mind with the Martial to Mitrovic transfer, so it was easier to make. And as I always say, you know, I try to give all the information about why I like. Somebody asked me a question whether I should play this player or that player. You know, I personally don't feel comfortable just saying okay, you should play Ben White or you should start Kieran Trippier unless I can explain to them why I said so, you know, because I'm not an expert here, guys. I never claim to be an expert on FPL. I'm just here, I'm just an FPL enthusiast like you are, who, you know, had a couple of good seasons, maybe by luck, maybe by chance, you know, and trying to talk FPL with all of you guys and spending my deadline with you is all that I want to do, you know, and don't want to claim here that, you know, we're like experts or giving tips here. Nothing of that sort, guys. So yeah, so that's with the deadline, guys, and now let's I have some time on my hands, and let's just go ahead and do some predictions. And guys, honestly, when I do predictions, I would really appreciate and really like with all of you to participate. That just makes it more fun and more enjoyable as well. So if you can, please do participate. Please give your predictions as well. I think that way we'll have more fun with the predictions, you know, and that way I'll be able to know what more people are thinking about the games. So the first game, Brentford versus Liverpool. Guys, first of all, even before we make the prediction, what do you think? Ivan Toney is going to be fit for this game or not? How many of you actually saw him get injured in that game? You know, and how many of you actually think that you know, how many of you think that he's going to be back versus Liverpool, or think he has a chance to come back so soon after being stretchered off? I personally don't. I tried to bench boost last minute and missed out. Oh, well, Ishan, don't worry about it right now, bro. What's gone is what's begone is begone. Now think about the next game week. Think about having a good game week and enjoy the time, bro. So yeah, I think he'll be on the bench but won't play, says Abhijit. That's interesting. So let me make a prediction. Let me start with the predictions, and I see some predictions like Light Razor said 3-1. Gio1 says I'll start. He says 2-2. That's very interesting, actually. Barry says 2-0 to Liverpool. FPL Sam says 2-0 to Liverpool. Zara has the same prediction with Gio1, which is interesting. It says 2-2 to Liverpool, to a draw. I think he says 3-2 to Liverpool, says Nehal. Hey Nehal, I hope you're doing well. Abhijit says 3-1 to Liverpool. So either we're having a draw or a Liverpool win. Obviously nobody's predicting a Brentford win. Darwin will score one. that would be great, right? To have a Darwin goal finally would be absolutely awesome, guys, right? So I think I personally feel that Liverpool are going to win this game, but I think Liverpool are not going to keep a clean sheet. Honestly, I'd love to go with the 2-2 prediction, but I think it's going to be, if Ivan Toney plays, then it's a 2-2 for me. if Ivan Toney does not play, then it's a 1-2 to me. Like Brentford 1, Liverpool 2 if Ivan Toney does not play. So that's my prediction for this game. Arsenal versus Newcastle, guys. Again, being an Arsenal fan, this is such wishful thinking. I'm so like we're beginning to dream, guys, and just don't break my dreams. Just don't shatter the dreams of a guy who's been waiting since 2003 to watch their club challenge or win the title. The last time in 2007 was the time when we really challenged for the title, or it was in the same season when Leicester actually won it, when we were the closest to actually win, but we didn't sign any players. We signed Petr Cech, for God's sake. In that season when Leicester won the league, we had a good chance. But anyways, Gio1 says 2-1 to Arsenal. Barry says 3-2 to Arsenal. If Tony plays, then Liverpool might even lose, says Nihal. Interesting. FPL Jug says 2-1 to Liverpool. So Gio1 starts the prediction with 2-1 to Arsenal. I would be absolutely happy. FPL Jug says 1-1. Jug, don't break my heart, bro. FPL Thumb says 1-0 to Newcastle. Thank you so much. Nihal says 0-0. I think currently it's very hard for an Arsenal game to go 0-0 the way we're playing. I think creating really good chances. So I think there are going to be goals, but it's interesting prediction by Nehal. Generally we have the same predictions, me and Nehal, but this time it's really different. Lightra says 2-1 to Arsenal. Abhijit says 2-1 to Arsenal. Bipin says 1-0 Arsenal. And Zara says 3-2. So Zara thinks there's going to be lots of goals in this game. So except FPL Jug and Nehal, who think it's going to be draw, everybody else think Arsenal going to win it. I personally feel Arsenal are going to win this game 2-0. I have a feeling that Arteta is going to kind of want to win this game. The reason being, obviously Arteta wants to win every game. All the managers want to win all the games they go into. I don't mean it like that. But the thing is, Arsenal are going into a set of games which are going to define their season, guys. The reason being, Arsenal have got Newcastle, Manchester United, and Tottenham in the next few game weeks. And I mean, if Arsenal can win these 3 games or come out of these 3 games being like 6 points or 7 points on top, clear of the league, I think then we can start talking about Arsenal being contenders or challenging for the title. Currently, I think nobody believes. Currently, I think even the fans, there's something stirring in the bottom of their hearts, but they're not saying anything because they, at the back of their minds, they know that Manchester City is like a juggernaut. It's hard for us to stop them. But let's see what Arsenal do in these 3 games. So I feel Arteta is going to really, really prepare them hard for this game. And the form we are in, hopefully we can win this. Sorry, it's a very long prediction, but it's just the ramblings of an Arsenal fan. Apologies for that. So I feel Arsenal going to win this game 2-0, guys. I hope for the best and fingers crossed. Everton versus Brighton. I mean, Everton were so resilient against Newcastle. The goal that Demarai Gray scored was, my God, it was amazing. Brighton were really, really good against Arsenal. There are not many teams in the league who can keep like a 60% possession against Arsenal, guys. More than 60% possession. And Brighton were looking really, really dangerous against Arsenal. They scored a goal. It was 3-1. And when Odegaard put a through ball for Martinelli and Martinelli finished that chance, if he hadn't scored that chance, I think Brighton would have come back into the game. That's how good they are. I think at Goodison Park, this is going to be an interesting game to call. I feel and I think that this is going to be a 2-2 draw. I'd love to see what you think about this. Giovan says 1-2 to Brighton. So Giovan thinks Brighton's going to win. Abhijit says 2-1, Everton 2, Brighton 1. Or 2-1 to Brighton. So Abhijit thinks Brighton going to win. Interesting. Arsenal 0, Newcastle 0, says Todd. So that's not the end of the world, but it's look at the predictions. Nehal and Todd with the same prediction. FPL Sam says 1-2. So again, you think Brighton's gonna win. Giovan thinks Brighton's gonna win. Abhijit thinks Brighton's gonna win. FPL Jack says 2-2. So he has the same prediction as me. Barry says 1-1. He also expects a draw, but both teams to score 1 goal. Nehal says 2-1 to Brighton. Wow, guys, all of you predicting a Brighton win, and I predicted a draw. It's gonna be interesting. Todd says 1-0 to Brighton. Abhijit says Saka would have killed him too if Martinelli hadn't scored that. That's absolutely true. Saka was really absolutely clear and Martinelli went for the shot. But all's well that ends well. Mac says 2-1 Arsenal Newcastle. Thank you so much, Mac. I appreciate that. So guys, you think Brighton's gonna win? Let's go with that prediction then. Zara thinks Brighton's gonna win as well. Very good, very interesting. I personally went for a 2-2 draw, but going with the unanimous call of all the people watching the stream, I'd say let's go for a Brighton win then. 2-1. Right. The next one is Leicester versus Fulham. As we all know, we have one or the other Fulham player in our team. We want Fulham to win, but I mean, I was so, guys, it was so unfortunate for Wout Fez. I mean, how does somebody score 2 own goals in the same half in a space of 4 minutes, and still, he had to stay on the pitch 45 minutes against against Liverpool with the Anfield crowd behind his back, and he managed to do well. Honestly, he had a few moments after that which were a little bit iffy, but he got through the game at least. So kudos to Wout Fez for at least putting on a brave face and at least getting through with that game. Based on the predictions, I think this is going to be a draw. A 1-1 draw between Leicester and Fulham. I think Leicester are going to attack. Leicester have to attack in this game. I think if Leicester don't win this game, I think Brendan Rodgers is going to be in a big problem. But I think Fulham are going to score against Leicester, and Leicester also going to score. So it could be a 1-1 draw, or it could be a 2-2 draw. But I'm predicting a draw in this game. I don't predict any of the teams to win. Let's go with the 2-2 draw. Let's see what you have to say. So Giovan says 1-2 to Fulham. So Giovan predicts a Fulham win. Todd says 1-1. Nehal says 1-3. Nehal expects Fulham to score 3 goals. I would absolutely love that. I really hope that Mitrovic doesn't celebrate and by taking his shirt off after scoring a hat-trick. I want him for the Chelsea game as well, So FPL Sam says 2-0 to Leicester. Oh, interesting. So FPL Sam predicting a Leicester win. But yeah, Leicester were really good against Liverpool. I wouldn't be surprised if Leicester did well against Fulham as well. Abhijit says 2-2. It's the same prediction as me as well. Jug says 0-1 to Fulham. So Fulham win and Leicester scoring no goals. I hope when Maddison comes back, that is the time when Leicester are going to really improve. Barry says 2-2 as well. Lightre says 3-2 to Fulham. Till the time Leicester have Amate starting, they're going to be shipping goals. Nehal, I agree with that, but I mean, it wasn't even Amate's fault. Amate was really good against Liverpool. He actually made quite a few interceptions, quite a few telling, interventions actually. It was just Wout Fez's unfortunateness that led Leicester to lose that game. I think Leicester deserves something from that game. I never thought they deserved to lose that game, Leicester. They were really good. Zara says 1-1. So predicting a draw, but 1 goal to both the teams. Right, guys. Moving forward. Thank you so much for the predictions, everybody. So Manchester United versus Bournemouth. I think we all expect, especially FPL Sam expects Manchester United to win by 5 goals and Bruno Fernandes, Martial and Rashford to be amongst the goals. I'm going to be really, really scared watching this game, guys. I have to be honest with you, because I sold Martial and now I don't even have Luke Shaw. I'm going to be really, really scared watching this game, but at least I have Rashford. So, I think most of the people who are active FPL managers would have 2 United players. I think I'm going to be one of the very, very few people who have one. Just one, guys. I think United are going to win this game 3-0. Let's see what you have to say. But Amarte is often out of position. I hope for the best, Nehal, but yeah. Like, I watched him in the Liverpool game. I found him to be alright. I expected Darwin to get a lot of joy and Salah to get a lot of joy against them, but for some reason they didn't. Giovan has the same prediction as me. Finally, we have the same prediction, 3-0 to United. Zara says 3-0 as well. Barry says 3-0. FPL Jug says 3-0. Nehal says 2-0. FPL Sam says 4-1. Bournemouth, and he says Bruno's gonna score 2 goals and 2 assists. That would be absolutely crazy, isn't it? And that would lead you to jump in ranks like crazy, because the effective ownership of Bruno Fernandes is not that high. Lightre says 3-1 to United. Bipin says 4-0 and Martial hat-trick. And then he's got a cheeky laugh as well. I hope not. No hat-tricks for Martial, please. For the love of God. I absolutely cuss myself for that if that happens. And Mitrovic celebrates after scoring a goal. See guys, what happens if Mitrovic scores a goal and he celebrates by taking his shirt off, and then the goal is chalked off for offside and Mitrovic gets a 5th yellow card? What does that make me then? Todd says 3-0 to Manchester United, so that's the same prediction as me. So does that yellow card get taken back, guys? Like, he celebrated by taking his shirt off, but the goal was chalked off for offside. So does the yellow card get taken back or not? That is the real question here, guys. Let's move on with the predictions, by the way. I hope somebody answers that. Southampton versus Nottingham Forest. I think Southampton have to win one game, guys. They're absolutely shambolic. But at least they managed to score a goal. This game, I feel Southampton should win at St. Mary's. They need to win one of these games. You know, I mean, they've been absolutely bad after Hasenhüttl left them. So I'm predicting a 2-1 win to Southampton. FPL Jug predicts the same, 2-1. GW19 predicts 1-0 to Southampton. So at least everybody's predicting a Southampton win. You know, of all the teams that I want to get relegated, Southampton are not very high on my list. I hope some other teams go down before Southampton do. I really like the way they run their club. The scouting system, you know, the players they've been able to develop over the years. So I like this club. St. Mary's as well. So FPL Sam says, nope, Richarlison already did it once this season, celebrated with shirt off and goal got disallowed. Yeah, I agree. I know that, bro. It's this wishful thinking that hopefully Mitrovic is shirt, you know, tied with a gallus or something. Can't be able to take it off. Light Ray says 2-1 to Southampton, 1-0. So everybody predicts a Southampton win. So let's go with 2-1. Hopefully they win. Leeds versus West Ham. I think this game is going to be very hard to predict because West Ham has been a strange team. You know, they lost to in the last game week. They lost to, I think, Aston Villa, was it? Come on, why can't I remember today? Sorry guys, just a second. Need to kind of check. They lost to Aston Villa, right? No, they lost to Brentford. Obviously, Ivan Toney scored the goal. What? Man, sorry. Yeah, they lost to Brentford. You know, even against Arsenal, they were absolutely abysmal. The way Nketiah scored that goal, he rolled their defender. They were not good against Arsenal. They were not good against Brentford. I don't expect them to be good against Leeds. At home, I think at Ellen Road, Leeds are really good. I expect Leeds to win this game. Let's predict Crescencio Somerville. The guy with the name straight from the Harry Potter books, Crescencio Somerville, to score the winner in this game. That's what I predict. Neil says lost to Brentford. Yeah, thanks for the info, bro. I just kind of skipped my mind. And Todd has predicted 0-0 between Southampton and Nottingham Forest. I think Mitrovic knows he's on 4 yellows. Mitrovic is sometimes a hothead. Nobody knows what he's going to do. FPL Sam says Southampton are getting relegated. Barry says 1-0 to Southampton. I hope Southampton don't get relegated, by the way. So Giovanni says 2-1 to Leeds. FPL Jug says 1-1. Nehal says 2-2. Light Ray says 2-2 as well. FPL Sam says 3-1 to Leeds. 2-1 to Leeds. So either we're having a Leeds win or we are having a draw. So nobody's predicting a West Ham win except Zara. Zara's predicted 2-0 to West Ham. So this game is difficult to call. Personally, I think at Ellen Road, Leeds will have too much for West Ham United. I hope they win. Not hope they win. I'm not really interested because I don't have neither of the players. But I predict a 2-1 win for Leeds. Let's see what happens here. All right, guys, moving on. Aston Villa versus Wolves. Guys, Aston Villa they won against Spurs. It was a strange one, right? I mean, Spurs had, I think, one shot on target. They didn't play really well. I don't know what's happening with Conte giving all these interviews and saying that the best position for Spurs is 4th or 5th. And, I think Conte wants out of Spurs, if you ask me. The Spurs fans also feel that the Conte is making statements which are, not good for the club. And, it's just absolutely shambles of what's going on at Tottenham, The way they were going on in the league, the way they were winning games, or the way they were like getting draws right at the end, scoring a goal at the death, I don't think that method is sustainable, guys. I personally don't think so at all. So, eventually it had to, like one of these days they had to get on the bad side of variance as well, and they did. So let's see what happens with Conte. But I predict, first of all, let's predict with Aston Villa versus Wolves. I think Aston Villa are going to win this game. Wolves have not been good, and I think Aston Villa would have, a lot of confidence after beating Spurs. 2-1 to Aston Villa. Let's see what everybody else says. FPL Sum says Aston Villa 1-1. Nehal says Skamaka unfortunately has not settled and lived up to expectations. I agree with that. I mean, Arsenal were linked with Gianluca Skamaka. PSG were linked with him, and West Ham signed him. Unfortunately, I don't know. They don't know how to sign good strikers. Earlier, they signed this guy Holle, and he's doing so well for Ajax. But when he was in their club, West Ham United, he never managed to do well. And the same with Skamaka for some reason. 1-0 to Villa says Jugs. Giovan says 1-0. Nehal says 0-0. Barry says 1-0. Todd says Leeds 1-1 West Ham. Interesting. And he says 2-0 to Villa. So everybody's predicting a Villa win except FPL Sum and Light Rays as well. I also predict a Villa win. I think a 2-1 win, but everybody says 1-0 to Villa, which is going to be interesting because Villa have got good fixtures coming. I think if Villa keeps another clean sheet, guys, I think people are going to be going for their defenders. The next 3 fixtures are good for Villa. I tell you that. Moyes' system doesn't support flair strikers. I think David Moyes, yeah, I agree with that. But I think Antonio did really well for a while under David Moyes, but I think he's teetered off as well. I think he was just playing so hard to get the West Ham, the highest goal scoring record for West Ham. As soon as he got that, his performances have gone downhill like crazy. The roll off has been crazy for Antonio, but I hope for the best for them. Villa 2-1 says Zara. So again, a Villa win. Dean the troll will be back. Absolutely, everybody's gonna go for Dean again. So let's see what happens here. Crystal Palace versus Spurs. This game is hard for me to predict, guys, because I didn't watch the Palace game, and I just only watched the highlights of the Spurs game. So it's gonna be very difficult for me. But if anybody helps me, you can help me predict. I think Palace won their last game, right? They scored 2 goals against Bournemouth, but against Bournemouth is different. Against Spurs is going to be a different game. Harry Kane has a good history of scoring against Spurs, but at this moment in time, I'm not sure how much the history counts for, but I'd love for you to make the predictions in this one rather than me. FPL Sum says 1-1. Jug says I'll be going with Mings. Yeah, that'll be the better option. No troll. Giovan says 1-1. FPL Sum says 1-1. Jug says 1-1. And Nehal says 1-2 to Spurs. So you see, I mean, 1-1. Like we've got 3 predictions of 1-1s. And now we've got Barry saying 2-1 to Spurs, Light Ray saying, and Nehal saying 2-1 to Spurs. So either we have a prediction of Spurs win or a draw. Let's go with a draw. Personally, I hope and I feel that they should draw. Spurs, being an Arsenal fan, I'll be on the. I'd want them to be on the bad side of variance, but and I'm not invested in terms of FPL, so that's even better. Because it's so hard to be an Arsenal fan and want Spurs to win. That's kind of hard for me to do. But saying that, obviously Harry Kane has given me a lot of joy over the years. So yeah. So kind of hard playing FPL. Todd says 1-1 as well. So let's go with the 1-1 prediction, guys. I think this is fair. Hoping that it sticks. Next comes the game, Chelsea versus Manchester City. People have got 5 players, approximately 4 players. I think every one of us will have at least 4 players involved in this game. People have tripled up on City. I've got Cancelo, I've got KDB, I've got Haaland, and I've got Rizabalaga. So I've got 4. Some people have got 5. Some people have gone with Havertz, Mount, Sterling, and with the 3 City players. So it's gonna be a crazy game. I mean, can you believe till this time only 8 players would have played, and the rest of them are gonna play in this game. I feel that City gonna win this game 3-1. Let's go with the 3-1, and let's see what everybody has to say. Giovan says GW19 has the same prediction as me in this one. Finally, we got a few same. And FPL Jug is the same as me as well. FPL Sam says 2-0 to City, so he doesn't expect Chelsea to score. Barry says 3-0 to City. Light Rays has the same prediction as me. And Todd says 2-0 to City. He doesn't expect Chelsea to score as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea don't score. They've been absolutely abysmal. Bipin says 1-2. So he expects Chelsea to score 1 and City to score only 2. I think Pep is going to be really angry with their players, letting them draw against Everton. I mean, they should have won that game, honestly. Nahal says 2-0 to City as well. So there's a few predictions with City clean sheets and few without the City clean sheets, but all of them say that City's going to win. So at least let's just say that City's going to win this. Right? So guys, last prediction, Fulham versus Chelsea. I think this game is going to be 2-2. I don't think Chelsea going to win this game. I don't think Fulham going to win this game. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I think if Mitrovic is able to play this game, I hope he scores, because Chelsea defense hasn't been good. The only one which has really been good in that defense is Thiago Silva. Cucurella hasn't been good. Even Koulibaly makes a few mistakes, and their wing backs like Azpilicueta, I just don't know what's going on with him at this moment in time. So, it's kind of difficult to say that Chelsea going to win this game. So, I'm personally calling for a 2-2 draw. So, Bipin says 3-2 Chelsea. Lighter says 3-2 Fulham. FPL Sam says 4-2 Fulham. No Mitro in score sheet as he already got a yellow. Thank you so much. I when I got Mitrovic in my team, I knew that this is a very real possibility, right, guys? So, come on. I just hope for the best. You should kind of think about it in this way. You just you take a chance in double game week. It comes off, then it's amazing. If it doesn't come on, then you call it a Dennis. That's exactly how it goes, or a king. So yeah, guys. I mean, that's all with the predictions. I hope you enjoyed. I had fun. This was the first deadline stream of the new year. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to join me on the rest of my streams as we go through the season together. So I'd like to thank you all for joining the stream. Thank you all for staying for so long, and thank you all for making predictions, guys. Today predictions were much more fun for me. Special thanks to GW19, Todd, Lightrays, Barry, Nahal, Zara, Bipin, FPL Sum. Sorry if I missed anyone, but thank you so much. Lightrays. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Jugs, FPL Jug. Thank you so much, guys. I had really so much fun doing the predictions today because all of you participated, and it was much more fun to do this. So guys, I hope you have a great year ahead, and as I said in the last stream, may you stick with your new year resolutions, and may your resolutions be the one which you can actually stick with, because as I always say, a change of a date cannot bring a change of a person. So you have to go one step at a time and let your habits and let the goodness in you compound, slowly. It takes time, guys. So stick with it, guys, and thank you so much for joining the stream in the new year. I wish you all the best. I hope you all have a great game week. I hope you have the best of health in this year, and enjoy, and I'll see you in the next deadline stream. FPL Visit signing out, guys. Take care. May the arrows be green. Bye-bye.